Namo Buddhaya. In almost every religion, faith plays a greater role. But is it the same in Buddhism? So from this video, I want to show you the role of faith in Buddhism. Let's find out. So the Google definition of the word faith is shown like this. Faith: strong belief in the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual conviction rather than proof. Now, one might think, oh, Buddhism is not a religion, it is a philosophy. So there is no faith involved in it. But the truth is, yes, there is a role of faith in Buddhism. And in fact, it is one of the most important virtues that a practitioner must possess while practicing Buddhism. But the faith in Buddhism is fundamentally different from the official definition of this word. Now, the word that is given for the faith in Buddhism is called saddha in Pali language, or shraddha in Sanskrit language. Now, take a look at how Buddha defines shraddha. The Buddha says, "And what bhikkhus is the power of faith, or saddha?" Here, a noble disciple is endowed with faith. He places faith in the enlightenment of the Tathagata. Now, note that Tathagata is a word that was used to call the Buddha. The Blessed One is an Arahant, perfectly enlightened, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, fortunate, knower of the world, unsurpassed, trainer of persons to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, the Enlightened One, the Blessed One. This is called the power of faith. Now, this is the definition of saddha or shraddha, or confidence or faith in Buddhism. So it is about placing one's trust upon the enlightenment and the realization of the Buddha. And it is to say, yes, the Buddha developed his mind and found the path of liberation from suffering. But what Buddha teaches us that is that you should not get stuck in mere blind faith. What Buddha teaches us that your faith must go beyond the blind faith and should be an experiential faith. The blind faith is in Buddhism is called amolika shraddha. Amolika, the word amolika gives the meaning of rootless. There is no root. That means there is no root for your faith. You mere blindly believing in something. That is called amolika shraddha. And the faith that is praised by the Buddha is called akaravati shraddha. Akaravati shraddha is a confidence that is based upon practice and self-exploration and realization. Now, when it comes to faith, people believe in things in 5 ways. The Buddha teaches us that the people believe or people have saddha upon something in 5 ways. What are these 5 ways? The first one is called saddha. That means just mere believing. Sometimes people believe just because they are born into that idea, born into the families that hold that idea or that religion. So that is mere believing. That is called saddha. And the second one is called ruchi. Ruchi means people believe in things because they like it, right? Sometimes you like certain ideas, so you just believe it. Second one is called anusava. Anusava is that you believe in something just because someone said it so. And the fourth one is akara parivitaka. It means logical thinking. People believe in things because it is logical. They don't put it into practice, but as it is, just because it is logical, they believe in it. And also the fifth one is called dittini jhanakanti. People believe in things or ideas because those ideas correlate with their point of views, their personal views. So what Buddha teaches us that is that your faith, your confidence, your shraddha must go beyond these 5. That means you should put it into practice, you should experience it, you should explore it and have the confidence upon it. It is something like this. Let's say you and I are in the darkness, a darker place, right? But you and I are far away. Now, right in front of me, there is, let's assume there is a statue right in front of me, right? But I can't see it, you can't see it, because we are in the darkness. All of a sudden, a lightning occurs, right? A lightning occurs and the whole area lights up. And within this split second, I get the chance to see the statue. But after this split second, we are totally immersed in the darkness. But now you didn't see the statue, you were far away, but I saw the statue. Let's say you're coming near me and I say to you that there is a statue in front of me, right? In front of us, there is a statue. It is like this, it is like that. Now, how I believe and how I hold the view about the statue is because I experienced it. I saw it, right? And how the other person believe in that idea is because the other person said it so, right? If you believe in that person, then you will believe it, right? So in the same way, the Buddhist faith must be an experiential, a practical experience that you experience through practice, putting it into practice. And that is how the Buddha defines Shraddha. So we need to understand that faith in Buddhism should be developed through practice and understanding and realization. Just take a look at this verse from the Buddha. The Buddha says to the Kasi Bharadwaja, the Buddha says, faith is the seed, austerity is the rain, wisdom is my yoke and plow, moral shame is the pole, mind the yoke strap, mindfulness my plowshare and God. Now Buddha similarized this faith to a seed. It's like planting a seed on a ground. Now the faith is the seed, but what makes the ground a better ground for the seed to be planted is the austerity, the practice that we do, the wisdom, the moral shame, mind, and mindfulness. All of these are the virtues, the qualities that make the ground for a better confidence, better faith. So faith must be put into practice. Faith should be developed through practice, right? So understand that Buddhist idea about faith is more of an experiential faith, right? And it is more of a practical faith, that you are allowed to ask questions, right? You are allowed to remove your doubts. You are allowed to explore. And also, you should believe in something by putting those ideas into practice and realizing it. Not just because that someone said it so, or not just because that you like that idea. So what Buddha teaches us, that if someone gives you an idea, that you need to thoroughly put it into wise reflection and meditate on it, find it, explore it, and understand. And then only you should believe in it. So, therefore, understand that faith in Buddhism goes beyond mere believing to the experiential confidence. So, I hope you got some light on the topic of faith in Buddhism. So, I invite all of you to practice this path, learn the Buddha's teachings, practice mindfulness, and most importantly, let your heart guide you to the truths deeply resonates. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. In the past, there was an acrobat who was doing stunts on a bamboo pole, and he had a student. One day, this acrobat called to his student and said, "Dear students, let's do stunts on bamboo poles and let's make a good living out of it." Now, but one thing that you have to remember, that when I'm doing the stunts, you have to protect me. And when you're doing the stunts, I'm going to protect you. In this way, we can protect both of ourselves and we can make a good living out of it. Then the student said, "No, sir, it's not the way to do. The correct way to do is that when you're doing the stunts, you have to protect yourself. And when I'm going to do the stunts, I will protect myself. In that way, we both protect ourselves and we can make a good living out of it." Now, the Buddha used this metaphor and this story to give us a beautiful message. The Buddha says, protect yourself from unwholesome actions, unwholesome thoughts, and unwholesome speeches. When you protect yourself as well as the others. Now, Buddha explains how to protect oneself. The Buddha says, practice mindfulness to protect yourself. When you practice mindfulness, you become more mindful about your actions, your thoughts, and your words. When you become more mindful about your thoughts and actions, then you can take control of your life. When your life is under your control, you protect yourself. And also, when you protect yourself, you protect others as well. And also, in the same way, the Buddha says, protect yourself by practicing loving kindness, compassion, and humbleness. When you practice these qualities, you protect yourself from hatred, ego, and jealousy. When you protect yourself from these kind of unwholesome thoughts, you protect yourself and also you protect other people as well. The Buddha says that no one can save us but ourselves. So we need to take control of our thoughts, of our actions, and of our words. So when we do that, we take care of ourselves and we protect ourselves. By protecting ourselves, we give the protection to this whole world. So keep this beautiful advice from the Buddha in your mind and be happy. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome back to another video. From today's video, we're going to discuss about the approach of non-violence in Buddhism. Now, how Buddha approaches the non-violence is in a most skillful way. Now, we all know that almost all the religion speaks about non-violence. And how Buddha approaches the non-violence is in a more different way. The Buddha says that to see from the perspective of the other person, put yourself to the perspective of the other person and think that if I were to go through such an experience, if I were to go through such an experience in my life, how would I feel? By thinking about this, you should let go of the anger, let go of the rudeness, let go of the violence. That is the Buddha's explanation of practicing the non-violence. The Buddha says, Attanang upamang katva nahaneyana ghate. First of all, put yourself into the perspective of the other person and think, if I were to say like this, if I went through this kind of experience, if I'm going to be rude to someone, if I'm going to be violent to someone, but if I became the victim, how would I feel? And when you think about that, when you think about from that perspective, you know that you don't like this violence. You don't like someone become violent to you or rude to you or mean to you. And when you understand this, the Buddha says that by understanding that is the pain that every other person will go through in their life, if I do the same thing to them, then I don't want to do that. That is how we let go of the anger. The Buddha says that anger doesn't resolve anything. There is not a single problem that is solved through anger. People all over the world try to solve problem through revenge. Look at the world. Look at the wars that are currently going on in this world. What happens? We're trying to take revenge on each one of us, on each other. And finally, no one solves the problem. But only the innocent lives will be destroyed. There's a beautiful saying that I read in the book of Art of War. It says that the destroyed buildings can be built up again, right? The friends who became enemies will become friends again. And the destroyed cities can build up again. But you cannot bring back a dead person back to life. So understand that war is not good for any kind of nation, any kind of country, any kind of people. So that we have to understand that violence doesn't solve anything in this world. It creates only the loops of anger. Now, by loops of anger, what I mean is that, let's say one party, let's say one country is attacking another country. Okay, you see this in Iran and Israel, right? You see this in Ukraine and Russia in this world. Let's say one country is attacking another country, right? Let's say you see this in almost all the wars, right? One country is attacking another country. What happens? They come and kill these people, okay? And there are people who are very close to them. And the people who got killed, there are people, the other people who are very close to them. What happens to them? They become angry. They build up the hate inside them. They swear to take revenge on the other party. So what do? They go and kill the other people. And then what happens? There are close relatives and close people to them as well. And they swear to take revenge again. And they come back and they kill again. So this will never end. So that is why anger creates nothing but the destruction, the destroying of this world, right? But only through letting go, only through forgiving that we can solve a problem, okay? That is why we have to be brave enough to let go and forgive, even though it is difficult. I know to say to let go is easy. I know that to say that forgive is easy. But to do, it is difficult. It is hard. It is hard for me. It is hard for you. It is hard for everyone. That is the truth. But even though it is difficult, it is hard, it is painful, we have to do that if we need to stop the problem continuing, right? That is why the Buddha said that put yourself in the perspective of the other person and think that if I were to go through such a situation, how would I feel? How much pain that I will go through? How much I will suffer? And then the Buddha says, let go of that anger. Let go of the hatred. On the day you let go of the hatred, on the day that you let go of that anger, it will never create a loop of anger, which will destroy the future generations. You're the one, if you take the choice to stop it, you are the one is not letting your future generations to be destroyed. So even though I know forgiving, letting go is not easy, even though it is difficult, it is hard, it is painful, we have to do it. And that is how we stop the anger. And that is the approach in Buddhism about the non-violence. So keep this little reminder in your mind and be happy. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. Couple of weeks ago, we posted this video right here about self-love. Let's take a look at it first. Remember, the more you love yourself, the more selfless you become. Do not confuse self-love with selfishness. Namo Buddhaya. So, a lot of you have been asking in the comment section, what is the difference between self-love and selfishness? So from today's video, we're going to be discussing about how to differentiate the self-love from selfishness. Now, to understand about this, first we need to understand what is selfishness. Now, selfishness always born from the unsatisfied nature of our mind. That means we are not satisfied with ourselves and we are not satisfied with other people. So what happens? We try to fill this unsatisfaction, fill this gap in our mind to satisfy ourselves. So what we do? We make expectations towards ourselves and towards others. And when the people around us and even ourselves are not meeting these expectations of even ourselves, what happens to us? We try to pursue and we try to chase behind these expectations and filling these expectations even more and more. And these things, these chasings go beyond the limits. So what happens? A person becomes more selfish, only thinking about his own happiness, his own pleasure, and his own advantage. He doesn't start to think about the other people's happiness. So this is selfishness. So we need to understand that selfishness is always born from unsatisfied nature of our mind. But in the other hand, self-love is always born from compassion, understanding, and acceptance. Now, when you understand who you are and when you accept who you are, then you become more compassionate towards yourself. Then you know who you are and what you can do. Starting from that, you start to develop yourself more and more. You give a good time to heal, you give a good time to develop your inner qualities, and you become more patient toward yourself. And also, when you develop the patience, you become more patient towards other people. You all know that not every person around you can live up to 100% expectations of yourself. So we need to understand that. When you understand this, the nature of yourself and the nature of other people, then you become more compassionate. And then you become more selfless. You become more generous because you know how it feels like to go through sufferings. You also know how it feels like to go through painful periods in time. So when you do that, when you develop that patience and compassion, you become more self-loving person. Okay, so that is why we need to understand that self-love is always born from compassion, understanding, and acceptance. We don't deny who we are. We don't try to reject who we are. We become more understanding and more accepting towards ourselves. When we become more accepting towards ourselves, we become more content with who we are and become happy with who we are. And one of the greatest qualities that we develop through this is the gratitude. We become thankful for what we have in our life. We don't say that, oh, everyone needs to fulfill my expectations and I'm not going to commit anything for you. You need to fulfill all of my expectations. Those emotions won't happen when you become more self-loving person. So understand the difference between the self-love and selfishness. The Buddha said, if you love yourself, you have to guard your mind from evil things, evil thoughts like jealousy, hatred, aversion, and envy. When you guard your mind from these unwholesome thoughts, you protect yourself. And that is self-love. When you protect yourself, you protect others as well. So keep this little beautiful advice from the Buddha in your mind and be happy. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. We've all heard these words more than 1,000,000 times in our life, and that is to let go of the attachments and then we will be happy. But saying this is easy, but doing this practically, it is really, really difficult. So let's discuss about what it truly means to let go of the attachments and how to approach it in the correct way. Oftenly, the common perspective of letting go of the attachment is that people think that we have to let go of the things that we are being attached to. That means attachment is occurred by these objects around us. So that to let go of the attachments, we have to let go of the things and then we will be happy. Now, I have heard these people say that, oh, even the Buddha said that let go of everything and then you will be happy. But Buddha never said to let go of the things or let go of the things that you are being attached to. And also, the Buddha never said that you have to be attached to the things around you. What Buddha said is that understand and realize that one day you have to let go of the things that are around you. And also one day you'll have to be separated from the things and from the people that you love and like one day. And realize this and live with them. While living with them, you have to realize that one day this is the reality of my life, that I will have to be separated from them. These things are subjected to change. And that is the true understanding about letting go of the attachments. One of the misconceptions about attachment is that people think, oh, attachment is an object. So that to let go of the attachment, we have to let go of that object. But this is not correct, because if we have to let go of the attachment, and if we have to let go of the things that we have been attached to, then we will never be able to let go of these attachments. Why? Because as human beings, when we come to this world, there are so many things that are around us. There are so many things that we use, right? So if we had to let go of the things, then we will never be able to do that. Because even the body that we use is an object. Right? This is not something that we truly own. So if we have to let go of the things, then we have to let go of even our body. But we can't do that in reality. So that understand, the attachment is not an object. Attachment is more of a mind-related thing. Just look at these words from the Buddha. The Buddha said, "They are not sensual pleasures, the pretty things in the world. A person's sensual pleasure is lustful intention. The pretty things remain just as they are in the world, but the wise remove the desire for them." So what Buddha says is, just let the pretty things in the world stay in the same way, and you let go of the desire to wanting to them to be in the way that you want. Wanting things to be permanent is what we have to let go. How we should do that? We should understand that everything is subjected to change. Everything is subjected to impermanence, where we expect things to be permanent, and that is what makes us suffering. So then one can ask, if we let go of the desire, will we be able to enjoy the things? Now, here's the thing. The Buddhist understanding about desire is that it is the mental attachment and thinking that these are mine, these are myself, this is me. It's like dragging a cow from its rope around its neck. Like the cow pulls to his side and we pull to our side. And what happens to us is that our hands get hurt. The reason why our hands get hurt is not because the cow is pulling to his side. The reason why our hand gets hurt is we are gripping the rope so tightly, and we are not ready to let go. And at first, letting go of the rope seems scary. Why? Because we think that we might lose the cow. The cow might run away. But in reality, if we simply let go, yes, the cow may run for a distance, but it will always come back. That's the nature. Even in the life, letting go of the attachments seems scary at first. But when we realize that in this life we have gained nothing and we have lost nothing, it is very, very easy to let go. The reality is that in life, we are not owners of anything. We came to this life owning nothing, and we are living this life owning nothing. So in this little time, we are just using these things around us. So we are not true owners, or we haven't gained anything. So if we haven't gained anything, what we have lost. So how can we train our minds to let go of the attachments? What we should practice? Now, the first step of letting go is to understand the true nature of life. What is the true nature of life? That everything, every experience, every feeling, everyone in our life is subjected to this inherent nature of change. We are constantly changing, right here, even right now. When you understand this, you understand that life is nothing but a bunch of changes. So that when these things change, that we have nothing to hold on to as permanent and wanting things to be according to our own wish. Because the life is undergoing even the constant change right now, right here. When you realize that no one, nothing, no feeling, no experience stays forever in life. Or in other words, you cannot step into the same river twice. You realize that thinking about this life as permanent, wanting things to be permanent, is nothing but just an illusion of your mind. We are being eluded from our ignorance. That is what we realize by realizing the true nature of this change in life. It is something like this. Imagine you are going to a magic show and watching the magic show. As long as you don't know how to do the magic, how the magic is done, then you get fooled by it. And as long as you get fooled by it, the magic is a magic for you. But what if we become friends with the magician and we learn how to do the magic? And then again you go to the same magic show and watch the magic show. Now the magic is no longer a magic for you. But still, you can watch the magic show, you can enjoy it, but you know how it happens. You know how it is done, so that you are not being fooled by anything. In the same way, when we realize that this illusion of our mind, that thinking about this permanent, thinking the life and experiences to be permanent is just an illusion of our mind, then you can enjoy the life, and also you can live life in a more wiser and a more experienced and a more matured way. So that is the way we understand about the attachment. This realization will make you more understanding about yourself and the world around you. And it will make you more easily enjoy this world in a more wiser and a more matured way. And also, by understanding about this constant change in your life, you let go of the attachment, you let go of this mind and the thought of wanting things to be permanent. And then the process of letting go will become much more easier. So understand that when we let go, we don't let go of the things. We let go of the mental and the emotional attachment towards things. We let go of that craving towards things, to wanting things to be permanent. And when you realize this, you can let go of this attachment and these expectations very easily. So that's a wrap for today's video. I hope you got some idea about attachment. So I wish you, may all of you be well and happy, and may all of you be happy forever. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. From today's video, we're going to answer one of the most frequently asked questions in Buddhism. Can we change our karma? Or can we change our past karma? Can we do anything about it? Now, to understand about this, first we need to understand what karma is. Now, in almost all the Indian religions, there are a lot of teachings about karma. Karma is a bigger teaching in almost all the Indian religions. In Hinduism, in Jainism, in Buddhism, there are a lot of teachings about karma. But the Buddhist approach of karma, or the Buddhist way of definition of karma, is slightly different than the other Indian religions, right? So this is how Buddha defined the karma. The Buddha says, Chetanahang bhikkhave kamang vadami. Monks, I say, intention is the karma. So when it comes to these statements from the Buddha means is that karma, the action, is more of a mind-related thing. That is why the Buddha says intention is karma. So intentions are generated in our mind. So what Buddha saw is that it is not just the action, it is the intention behind the action what defines the karma. So this is the Buddhist definition of karma. Now we'll come to the question. What is it? Can we change the karma? Right? Now, first of all, we need to correct the question and then answer it. Why? Because karma, what people mean by asking, can we change karma, is that, can I change what I have done in the past, and can I change the consequences of those karma? Okay? So first we need to understand that karma, or this intention, is generated right now, right here. right? The karma is not something that is past. Karma is something that you do right now, this present moment, right? So this present moment, the karma can be changed. Why? Because it is always your choice. The choice is a karma. So it is your choice is totally under your control. Some people think that, okay, our choices and our experiences are not totally under our control. The choices that we make are predetermined, or due to the past karma, we make choices right now. But Buddha did not agree to this idea. What Buddha says is, yes, your life is affected by the past karma, but it is not the only thing that your life is affected. But you can change your karma by making good choices, by taking the right action. That is why Buddha praised a lot about the taking right action. So understand that karma happens right now, and that means the karma is totally under your control. But what people ask is that, can I change the karma? No. First you need to correct the question, can we change the consequences of our karma? Which means vipaka. Now, with the package of karma, there comes another word which is not much famous, and that is vipaka. Vipaka means the consequences of karma. So basically, what karma is, the cause and effect phenomena. That means we make causes for something and there will be an effect because of that cause. We do some actions and then we get consequences of those actions. So this is the basic understanding of karma. So can we change vipaka? It is not totally under our control. We don't know what we have done in the past. So the only thing that we can do is just to go through those experiences. Now, it is also important to remember that our life is not totally dependent on karma. Karma is only one thing that our life is affected. Okay? So let's say you're going through a consequence of your past karma. So can you do anything about that? You can't do it, because only thing that you can do is you have to face that experience. But you can change how you react to that experience, right? Whether it is good or bad, you can take right action, right choice, right now, right here, to face that in a good way. So if we take the right action and right choice right here, then we can stop the karma repeating again and again. Right? Let's say you're going through a bad experience due to a past karma, and if you react the same way, right? If you fall down, if you become angry, if you spread hate because of that pain and suffering, then you create some more suffering karma to go through some bad experiences in the future. But if you take right action and if you become wise and patient and mindful, then you can stop the karma from repeating. So in that way, you take control of your choices. So understand, basically, there is very few space for us to take control of what we have done in the past and the consequences of them, but we totally have the control that we make the choice right now, right here. So keep this beautiful advice from the Buddha in your heart and be happy. Namo Buddhaya. One day, a wild bull was walking down a street, and he saw this beautiful paddy field. And the bull was thinking, wow, what a beautiful paddy field. I need to eat some paddy. So what he did was, he jumped to the paddy field and started eating paddy. But there was this farmer who was so mindful, watching the paddy field, and he saw the bull was eating paddy. So what the farmer did, he ran across the paddy field and grabbed the bull from its horns and wrapped the muzzle around the horns and gave a huge blow to the bull. What happened to the bull? The bull was confused. So the bull ran away. But the nature of the bull is that he forgets everything very quickly. And the next day, what happened? The bull was walking down the same street and saw the paddy field, jumped to the paddy field and started eating paddy again. But there was this mindful farmer who was watching the paddy field. He gave a sound beating on that day as well. So this happened for a little while. But there came one day that the bull was thinking, okay, today I don't want to jump into the paddy field. Why? Because I always get beaten up by this guy. So on that day, the bull didn't jump to the paddy field. On that day, the bull was very disciplined when he was near the paddy field. He went and he passed the paddy field without jumping towards it. So the Buddha used this wonderful story and metaphor to give us a beautiful message. The Buddha says, this is the nature of our mind. It's like a wild bull. Forgets everything, runs towards these evil thoughts, and it has no discipline. So the Buddha says how we should discipline like that mindful farmer. We have to be mindful and watch our thoughts and take control over it. How to take control over all our thoughts? So Buddha give us a beautiful way to do that. The Buddha says, whenever your mind runs towards these evil thoughts, what do you have to think? You have to think the downside of all these evil thoughts. For an example, if you have hatred in your mind, you have to think, this is not good for myself. This is not good for my physical health. This is not good for my mental health. And this is not good for me as well as others. My hate is not good for me and as well as others. In that way, by considering the downside and the danger of your thoughts, you can stay away from evil thoughts, and also you can discipline your thoughts. But to do every kind of these things, any of these things, we have to have one beautiful quality, and that is the mindfulness. So the Buddha says, watch your mind like a farmer who's watching the paddy field, right? So without mindfulness, we cannot do any kind of these things. We cannot discipline our mind. We cannot take our mind from unwholesomeness to wholesomeness. So we need to have this beautiful quality of mindfulness. And also we need to consider the danger of our thoughts, because one thought can create a beautiful world, and just one thought can destroy this whole world. That is the power of our mind. So understand that the nature of all of our minds are like a wild bull. So many people complain when they start meditating, they say, oh, my mind is not disciplined. It's always busy. It's running here and there. I'm very scattered brained. Well, at the beginning, we all are like that. When we start meditation, our minds start to run here and there. Only when we start meditating, we realize that how busy our minds are, how scattered our minds are. So what we have to do, whenever our mind gets distracted or disturbed or running into these kind of evil thoughts, we have to kindly bring it back to the wholesomeness. You may have to do this again and again. You may have to do it for years, but there will be a day, definitely, there will be a day that your mind becomes disciplined, but only if you keep doing this, right? It's all about the little steps that you take to discipline your mind every single day. And every practice adds up to your life. That is the wonder of this beautiful Buddhist path. Every practice that Buddha teaches us adds up, and it always helps to us. So, I know, and we all know, that it is not easy to discipline our mind. But even though it is difficult, it is not easy, it is painful, we have to do it again and again, keep doing it until that beautiful day comes, that we gain a beautiful, disciplined mind. So keep practicing, disciplining our mind, and be happy. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Good evening, everyone. Welcome and welcome back to another video. From today's video, let's discuss about how can we deal with anxiety and what to do when our mind becomes anxious, right? We all know that how it is painful when our mind becomes anxious and when we become afraid of the things that will happen in the future, or when the mind creates all these scenarios in our head about the things that will happen in the future, right? So, how can we deal with this state of mind? There are a few things that we can do, right? But most of the time, when we become anxious, what happens is we become panicked and we take decisions that may not be the correct decision to take. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing with you few things and few advices that I have given and that helped me a lot personally to deal with this anxiety. So the first thing that you have to do is, first, you have to be aware of your mental state, right? If you're anxious, if you're afraid of something, the first thing is to be aware of it and to accept it, right? Most of the time we pretend to be not to be anxious. We pretend not to be fearful about the future, and we try to reject that state of our mind. The more we reject, the more it persists in our mind. So that is why the first step is to acknowledge and accept your current state of your mind. If you're anxious, just say to yourself, okay, now my thoughts are in anxiety mode, right? My thoughts are anxious. I am fearing about certain things. Acceptance will help you to catch the thought and to be more aware of it. And also, when you accept it, it creates less pain, right? Acceptance is the first step of healing. So the first step is to accept your current mental state. And the second step is, this is amazing. Once you understand the current state of your mind, what you have to do, the biggest advice that I have given about anxiety is do one thing at a time, right? Take one action at a time, right? We all know that when we have lot to do, right? When we have many jobs to do, what happens? We start thinking about everything, right? We started loading these thoughts into our mind every time, and we try to do all at once. But in reality, we can't do all at once, right? One thing that we can do is we can take one job, one action at a time, and do that, right? So, how to do this? First of all, to clarify your thoughts and to be clear about what you have to do and what you can do and cannot do, first, sit down in a quiet place, take a piece of paper and write down all the things that you are fearing about, and write down all the things about the current situation that you are in. And also, most importantly, you have to write down the things that are in your control and things that are out of your control. When you clarify these things, you can take actions upon the things that are under your control. So one thing that you can do is sit down, write down all the thoughts, write down current situation of your life, and write down all the things that are under your control and not under your control, so that you're very clear about what to do and what not to do, right? So when you clarify that and take one action, just one action, and what you have to do, just execute that action, right? Don't try to do all the things, just pick one action and do it at one. It's something like this, right? Something like you're grabbing a bunch of oranges, right? What will happen if you try to grab a bunch of oranges at once? You can't grab all of them, right? It will fall, they will fall. So one thing that you can do is pick a basket, take one orange at a time and put it into the basket. In that way, you can grab many oranges. In the same way, when you clarify your thoughts and take one action at a time and execute it, then it will be clear in your mind and it will ease up your mental state. So do one thing at a time. And the third step is to do it slowly and deliberately, right? Even when you become clarified about what to do, don't be anxious, don't be panicked. What do you have to do? Do it slowly, right? One thing that a lot of meditation masters teach is that when you're anxious, do something slowly, right? Slow down. When your body becomes slow down, your minds become slow down. That's the connection between the body and our mind. When our mind is slow, our body is slow. When our body is slow, our mind is slow. So do things, take that action and do it slowly and deliberately. Do it with proper consciousness, proper awareness, and proper mindfulness. That's so that you feel what you're doing. Then you understand what you're doing, right? So in that way, you can ease up this anxiety. And the last thing that you have to do is do it completely, right? Complete the action. When we are anxious about certain things, what we do, we don't complete that action, right? We just hang over that problem or that task, and we don't complete it, right? One thing that you have to do is do it completely, right? Complete your action, do it slowly, deliberately, and finally complete that action so that that step is finished, right? And then once you complete that action, what do you have to do? Take the next step and do it slowly, deliberately, and completely. In that way, you can clarify what you have to do, and also you will get a good time to take good decisions. So this is a little way and a tiny practice that you can add to your life to ease up your pain of anxiety. And whenever you're anxious about certain things, try this and it will ease up your pain of anxiety. So keep this little advice in your mind and be happy. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another video. From today's video, let's discuss about the problem of feeling worthless, right? Sometimes no matter how good we are, sometimes how good other people to us are, we feel worthless about ourselves, right? We feel that we don't have any value, right? My life, there is no value in my life. Why am I living? Have you ever felt like this? Now, this has been a big problem for me before becoming a monk, right? Before becoming a monk, we have to undergo a training period of like 1.5 years, right? I will tell you about my story. So I was staying in this monastery, and I had to learn how to become a monk, and we were practicing and everything. But since even though everything is good, everything around me is good, right? Everyone around me is good, and also even though I am doing good, that still I feel like, why am I living in this life, right? My life, there is no value in my life. Everything that I do, I fail. Sometimes I fail in my life. But when you fail like that, you think like, oh, I'm a failure, right? I don't have any value in my life. And that is not the reality, right? That when it comes to reality, that is not true. But still, mind is very good at distorting the reality and creating these scenarios in our mind to say to our life that you're worthless, right? You have no value. There is no value in your life, right? You're not good enough. So how can we deal with this? So I will tell you how I got the help from the spiritual companions and the monks and my teacher. So one time I was so upset of the things that I'm doing, and also everything that I have been doing went wrong, right? It wasn't successful. I was meditating, I was helping the monk, but sometimes I made mistakes, and I was worrying about these mistakes. No one complained about me. No one said nothing bad about me, but still my heart says to me that you're not good enough. You're a failure, right? So I was so upset. And now when you're in upset mindset, what is the first thing that comes out of you? It's your facial expressions, right? Someone can say your face is a reflection of your mind state. Okay, so I was upset, and one of the monks who was residing in that monastery noticed me that I'm upset. So he came up to me and said, like, tell me, what's bothering you? Is there anything that is bothering in your mind? You can say it to me. Let's discuss. So the first reaction, as usual, when someone asks from us, how are you, or is there any problem in you? What we say? We say that, okay, I'm fine, right? There's no problem. But he understood my mental state and told me, tell me the truth. I'm here to help you. We can discuss so that we can sort out the problem. So I told this condition of my mind, mental state of my mind, that I am feeling worthless. I'm feeling that I'm a failure. And then he said, okay, you're feeling worthless. Let's say you're feeling worthless and you're feeling that you don't have any value in your life. But now I need you to check the reality. What are you doing right now? You're meditating, you're helping the monks, and you're doing all the chores, and you're still feeling worthless? Is that the reality? One thing that he said is check the reality, right? Check what is real. Because mind is pretty good at creating all the worst case scenarios and all the pessimistic thoughts in our mind. Because it's a thought pattern, right? One thing that our mind has is it has the habit of creating the thought patterns, right? Once we start to feed our mind with a certain thought patterns, it has this looping effect of creating this thought pattern again and again and again. The more we think it, the more it comes back to our mind. So he said that check the reality and understand that your life is not worthless, right? Your life, there are many things that you can be happy about, right? That's the reality. As humans, there is nothing that we can feel like my life is worthless, right? Because there are so many things that we can be happy about. Like being a human itself is something that we can be happy about, right? We got the chance to be a human and practice these good qualities, live as a good human itself is something that we can be happy about. And be happy about that you have air to breathe, right? You have people around you that smiles at you. At least something that find something that you can be happy about, because there are so many things. There are thousands and thousands of things in reality that we can be happy about. Okay, that is one thing that you have to do. Check the reality. Is it true that my mind saying that your life is worthless? But when you come to reality, you find that there are a lot of things that you can be happy about in our life. Okay, and there's another thing that you can do, and that is keep a gratitude journal, right? Write few things that you have to be like you can be happy about in your life, right? You can be happy about so many things if you think about it. So find something and write about it. And also another thing that you have to do whenever you get these kind of thought patterns is to try to give more, right? Try to help more to other people, right? Whenever you do that, you feel the value of the things that you do, right? The positive energy that you create towards other people, right? And whenever you give, whenever you help others, you see the smile of their faces. You see that people are thanking you, and you think that, oh, this is what the true value of my life, right? My life is not worthless. My life is valuable, that I can create many positive things around me in my life, so that it's not true that my mind's saying that I'm worthless, right? When you realize that, you come to this state and come to that understanding that how valuable this human life is, right? How many positive things that you can do in this life, right? When you do that, that state of mind will go away. So things that we have to do is check the reality and understand, ask from yourself that is that true, that truly that my life is worthless or not, right? And also be generous, help other people, and be happy and understand that your life is truly valuable. So keep this little advice in your mind and be happy. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. The other day when I was doing a speech, there came a question from the audience. The question said, No matter how much I plan the new year, I fail to achieve these goals at the end. What is the reason? And turns out this is a problem for many people, right? We all plan the new year, we all plan in the beginning, but we fail at the end. What is the problem? The reason for this problem is we are trying to do more. But in reality, what makes your dreams come true, what helps you to achieve the goals in your life is not by doing more. It is by doing less. But it is a little bit contradictory to the society, the idea of the society, no? Because the society will say to you that do more and then you will achieve more. But in reality, to achieve more, you should not do more. You have to do less. Now, what do I mean by doing less? Doing less means doing something that is important. Removing all the unnecessary, unimportant things in your life and doing what is important. Giving the priority to what is important, what matters the most, right? And also, if you give this priority to what is important to you, right? If you ask the question, what is important to me in my life? What should I build up? What qualities should I build up in my life to make my life a success? And now you focus on that quality, the important task, important goal, and you keep doing it, right? The reason why we fail to achieve the important things in life, because our important goals, our main goals, our crucial goals are covered with these unimportant things, unimportant achievements in life, which does not help us in the long run, okay? And also there's another problem, and that is we have lots of expectations. That means too much expectations. It is okay to have expectations, right? It is okay to have dreams, it is okay to have goals, but it is not okay to have too much expectations. Why? Because sometimes when we have too much expectations, our expectations and our reality have a big gap. It has a big gap, right? So when we fail to achieve these expectations, what happens to our mind is we become discouraged because we are not getting what we expected. And then what happens? We suffer. We hate ourselves. We blame ourselves. The more we blame, the more we hate ourselves, the less we try to achieve things, because we label ourselves, okay, I can't do these things. I'm not someone who is courageous. I'm not someone who is brave to do these things, right? No matter how much I try, I fail. That is the nature of mine. The more you label that, the more you give that name to yourself, I am a failure, I can't do these things, what happens? The more you can't do those things, right? So the most important thing is to have moderate expectations. It is not to have, I'm not saying that you should not have expectations. Yes, you should have, right? And also you should not have too much expectations, right? You have to find that sweet spot. You have to have that moderate expectations. I will do my best. This is one advice that was given to me when I started preaching and giving speeches. One of my brother elder monks, he said to me, when you step into the stage, don't think that you're going to ace the speech and you're going to earn a standing ovation from the audience. Don't think that. Don't think about it. And also, don't walk into the stage without lack of confidence, right? You have to have a confidence that is moderate, right? You have to have a confidence that is moderate where you think yourself, I will do my best, right? I come to this stage, I step into this stage to share something valuable from the Buddha's teachings, and I will do my best to share it. It is when you have that moderate expectations, what happens? Although you fail at some points, right? You know that you will fail. You have accepted that, yes, you are imperfect. You will fail in life, right? And that failure, the pain from that failure is less painful than when we have the high expectations. So the most important thing is to have moderate expectations. And one of the most important qualities that we need to have in our mind to achieve the goals and the dreams in our life is to focus on little changes in life, not the big changes. Most of the time people ask, like, how can I change my life in a bigger way? How can I make big changes in my life? To make big changes in your life, start from making little changes. That is what helps you to, that is what makes you the bigger changes in life, right? For an example, like, let's say you're in a stressful condition, right? You're stressed and you're worried about things, and you feel like you're going through like a dark hole. What can you do? You try to solve the problem, right? You try to solve the bigger problem. But the reason for that bigger problem is not always the immediate reason. The reason for a big problem is not always the immediate reason. It is a series of problems, series of changes that had happened throughout our life, and it made that big change, big problem. So what do you have to do? Go into the roots of the problem. What made it change? What went wrong? And when you find that smallest mistake that made it wrong, you have to correct that. You have to make that correct and work upward, right? Let's say you feel a little bit stressed or anxious, or you feel that negative energy around you. What can you do to stop this? First, stand up, and then you can clean your surrounding, right? By cleaning the surrounding, it adds some sort of a positive energy around you. And after that, you can meditate a little bit. Clean yourself, clean your body a little bit, clean your clothes, right? Clean your surroundings. That positive energy will make a little bit of positive change in your life. And that positive change will lead you to make big changes, big positive changes in life, right? So one of the most important things is to focus on little changes, right? That is why in Dhammapada, the Buddha says, by degrees, little by little, from moment to moment, a wise man removes his own impurities, as a smith removes dross of silver or gold. Now, when a silversmith or a goldsmith, when he cleans the silver, or like a block of silver or gold, he or she can't do it easily, right? It takes a big time, right? It takes a huge time to clean this block of gold, right? In the same way, little by little, you have to improve little by little, right? So that is why I found this wonderful quote that I read recently. It says, learn a little bit, apply a little bit, improve a little bit every single day. Isn't that wonderful? Learn a little bit, apply a little bit, improve a little bit every single day. That is what we have to do. So I invite all of you to learn a little bit and apply a little bit and improve a little bit and change a little bit in this new year. So I wish you all, may all of you be happy and healthy. Namo Buddhaya.